All right, we're recording.
All right, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Thank you. And this is going to be a barn burner of a session. I can just feel it. That said, roll. So we got Alderman Barber
Here.
We got Mr. Wobowski. He's here. Rob's in the gun. We should probably take him off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim here.
Nope.
Barb. All right. Got a game. All right. That said, pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. By the way, Tim, your door's still open on your thing. Is that always? Yeah.
I'm having nothing but troubles with that thing. So.
And it's still running.
Yeah, the battery keeps dying on it. The lift doesn't work all the time.
Okay.
So I am in a rough 2 days in the middle of nowhere yesterday for about 2 hours.
Okay.
Somebody
All right.
pumped the thing up. So I
Should we call police and have them just do a drive-through here once in a while to see if it's still there?
that'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't see somebody still there. But I just, you know, if you
That's
want
not
to
that's not a vehicle somebody's gonna go, oh gee,
From all the idiocy I hear on the news every night,
that's all down.
All right, let's open up for the citizen comments. Any comments from the citizens? All right. None here, so I suggest we keep moving. Minutes from the August 30th, 2022 meeting.
move to approve.
Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, so we approve it. Good. All right. Business Appreciation Dinner. So we got a couple of possible ones, and thank you for yours, and I gave him mine too. So we've got a number of them here, and I guess what we're going to look for is everybody to vote and pass them into John, and we'll come up with a winner.
So what I've done is just the nominations that came in, and the votes for the winners are indicated. So, you know, if anybody wants to add any more to that, I guess you have an opportunity. And, ones I submitted was based on what they've done last year, project-wise. That's all I really know. People that have been there in the past that haven't won.
You and I had also talked about doing it as rank order, right? At one point we said we would only do 4. Rank order would give us.
Actually, we can only do 3 unless you want to do. I don't think we've done 4 in the past.
Yeah. So it's been 3 plus.
I don't think we've done 4 in the past.
Yeah. So it's been 3 plus the. So, thoughts on it because we got more than 4. We got 5 in the first, 5 in the second, 5 and then 5 in the second, 5 and then 4. On the other hand, well, the only problem with that, I don't have a problem even. I don't know. What do you? I mean, thoughts? Keep it at 4, 1 winner.
Yeah.
3 plus
I think
1.
so.
Okay. We do rank order, and so that way the bottom guys are off. That work for all you guys? Okay.
Except the winner is number 4. I don't know what rank order that is.
That's just the vote. That's just a couple of votes.
How many votes actually came in?
2 people submitted.
I did not.
And I didn't either.
So I think we need to, I'd like to make it well, you want to talk about these now or?
Why do we have red and 2 reds? And
Because there were 2 different, okay. And the first one, Saputo cheese is red because selected Saputo cheese for the winner. The other ones was split, all the rest of them were split.
oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's a tie.
Did that email or vote come out already? Is that something that came out?
At the last meeting, we decided that we were going to get them in by the next Friday. At the last meeting, we decided that we were going to get them in by the next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
The nomination.
Yeah. So people were going to turn in the names. And
Okay, but not the vote.
no, we didn't necessarily vote on it.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
okay.
All right, so Saputo got 2 nominations.
And necessarily vote on.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
okay.
All right, so Saputo got 2 nominations. Is that what
Right,
you're saying?
yeah, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
now I understand.
All right.
Okay. Understand.
Yeah, so you're right. We have to.
Okay.
So.
So what would be what would be the top 4 in the categories on the leadership one what would be the top 4 then that we'd be talking about?
Yeah, so we need to take one off. And in the first one here on the large, Saputo had 2 out of 2. In the small, there was one for a hunger task force, one for presidency, and on the leader, one for Jonathan, one for.
There were a couple in there that we had in common. I think Lubrizol was one that was a double. Let's see.
Well, it was included on both, but the Lubrizol, the Saputo got.
They get 2 nominations.
Can we start discussing these?
Or do we just want to vote?
Well, I'd like to make it discuss, first of all.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the large group. Apparently, that's $10 million or more.
Mhm.
Saputo hasn't produced $10 million worth of product at this point.
No, it's just
They bought property.
it's they're constructing and working. But yeah, to this point,
I
they have not.
have a real problem giving them that award at this point when they haven't produced anything yet. At this point when they haven't produced anything yet and haven't hired anybody other than contractors to build a building. I really have a problem with that. I think, in the future, certainly. Right now, they haven't done anything.
Okay. Any other discussion on the
Just
large?
that in the past
Any other discussion on the
just
large?
that in the past Northwestern is so big compared to the others. Yeah, Northwestern was kind of just held at the end. They won them, and
They haven't won in a lot of years.
I can't
Isn't
recall
it for
whether
now?
they won here.
They haven't won here in a while. Here. Yeah, a lot
okay,
of
well,
taxes, all that kind of stuff.
I'm just offering that up. It's
No,
not,
I'm
I'm not
I'm
saying
with you.
yes or no.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Any other discussion on the large? How about small? Okay. Innovation.
Looks
The city.
true. Yes, I agree with that.
Mhm.
I guess I'd like to see a little bit of history, some of the or history of success.
The YMCA is very new as well.
Yeah.
That's,
How long have they been?
not a year. I think I joined. I was about this time last year.
Rhoda, since the electric was
They just completed an expansion in their business, and they're doing advanced type of roto molding.
no,
They're doing injection molding, and I think it's like roto.
no.
They're doing injection molding, and I think it's like roto molding, but they're doing insulation.
Oh, right.
So they've expanded.
Yeah.
And is Hunger Task Force doing something different than what they have been doing in the past?
I think they're on an initiative, not only to.
In the past?
I think they're on an initiative, not only to expand members and participants, but I think they're trying to expand and fight for more.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that at one of their what was it? A recent one of the new things that they're doing. Is it huge? I don't have a big buy on it. Recently they're doing some new things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know they do a lot of innovative kind of things with community groups and
Yes.
stuff like that. That youth is growing and training.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking they'd be.
I do too.
Any other ideas that anybody had for any of this? That's some extra space to write that stuff down in.
I know.
Worksheet with.
The only one that I don't know about would be the small under Billy Sims. I don't know. I would say a lot of activity going on there, but that doesn't. That they brought business here. And I'm kind of wondering if that's viable.
Who's the blend?
The Blend is a coffee bar at the Rock.
Oh, it's at the Rock.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
the rack.
Is that the
Yeah.
right?
It's a coffee. It opens in the morning and serves coffee and donut. it's a coffee, it opens in the morning, it serves coffee and donuts, and then it goes on and does drinks and our food kind of stuff at night.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
part of the ROM.
And it, you know, you talk to people, it comes up. I'm thinking it's a small little place.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you talk to people, it comes up. I'm thinking it's a small little place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Bland. Really going to and it's like, whoa. I mean, it kind of is on the map for people under 40 at least. So that's why I don't know
Well,
much about it.
I think the umbrella bar far is
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's true too.
That's,
Well, that's true too.
that's,
is
The umbrella
far
bar.
exceeds the
Yeah.
volume of business
Yeah.
and people going and the
Yeah.
activities.
so are we looking for one to eliminate from that group?
No, I would
Just-
I,
Or are we gonna keep them in there?
Everybody gets a vote and put a W by the vote that you think should be winner. So in each
Okay.
one,
Oh, I see, okay.
you know, and like I said, I mean, somebody wants to add, maybe needs to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
It would still be the same process.
Okay. They have 6 votes.
Right, gotcha.
No, still 4.
Okay, so put your number down and we'll just give it to you, Jeff.
So we just fill this out here? Okay.
Somebody got a pen I can borrow?
I'll let you use mine.
I'll get
Whatever.
I was getting my job.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Okay.
So the ones with 4, we don't,
You just pick one per category.
but we've got 4 for leader.
Yeah, you just pick the one.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, we only get one vote. We only get 4.
Pen back or?
Yeah.
For anything more today? You're gonna
I might,
continue using
yeah,
this?
so.
Yeah, sure. Well, no, there has to be 4 votes in each category, not 1 per category.
Really?
We were
Oh,
supposed to vote
we
4
just did. We
times?
just did one.
I just voted once.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted 4 per category, that way you could name the top 4 in a
And then put a
sequence.
W by the,
That way you could name the top 4 in a
and then put a
sequence.
W by the one
Yeah.
that.
I just put one W.
Yeah, I just.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did too.
All right,
Well, hold on, wait a second. Why doesn't that work?
because it's a nominal, like a
You have to
nominal
go 1,
process.
2, 3.
So then what gets the most votes are the 4
Right.
top.
You have to
nominal
go 1, 2,
process.
3.
So then what gets the most votes are the 4
Right.
top, and then
If you don't get any votes, then we just wipe them off.
Well, they're still in a ranked, or they still have to be ranked for the presentation.
you still add up the votes that each one get. You still add up the votes that each one get.
So you want them
Have you
ranked
ever
1, 2, 3?
been in one of these
No, I-
planning sessions where you rank?
You know, and that's what I
All the
mentioned earlier,
choices.
but I thought we were just going out of one vote, and that would, if you got no votes, you're off.
So you wanted it 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
1, 2,
No,
3,
just
4, 5.
www.
A W and then a dot, 1, 1, 1.
Oh,
Say there's Mike Barber, Steve Lebowski, how are we gonna?
We went through them right now, and we find that somebody has, what, 5 votes for the W.
They win.
They win.
Yeah,
Okay.
so whatever odd votes
So we
come
gotta
out.
do the-
yeah.
Okay, so in each category, there's going to be 4 of these. In each one of them, say you like number 2, and number 4, number 6, and number 1. Right? So if everybody, votes in the ones that get the most votes,
Okay. Okay,
So for your bonus vote, you put a W by the one you think should be the winner.
okay.
So
You getting that?
it's
We
W,
can do it that way too.
W,
Sure.
XXX.
But I mean,
But how does the W weigh more than just
the
an
W
X?
just winner of that category. The other ones are just, the other three are just gonna be recognized.
Yeah, but okay, again, it's not a weighted order then. So let's suppose he gives a W to 2, she gives a W
No,
to.
you only get to give one W per category.
No, I got
Yeah,
you.
but each one of
Each
us-
one of us gets a W.
Right.
But we still have votes in here, so if there's 5 people, and a W doesn't weigh any more than an X up here.
Except you're
It's for a
designating which one
different-
you want a winner.
It's for a different award.
He's putting, the X's, okay, the X's are for nomination.
Right.
It's right. We have 4 nominees
Yeah.
that get recognized. Out of those 4, one of them is the winner.
Mhm.
But are we basing that on who gets the most X's gets to be the winner, or the
No,
W?
The W's.
No,
W's the
those
winner.
Ws.
The other X's are,
You got one person. There's only one person that likes 6. He's not going to be in the running anyway. It doesn't matter if it's a W. But
Yeah, but okay,
everybody
so-
likes. If everybody votes for 4, then almost everybody but one votes for 2, and
But it's
more
possible that we can all, one guy could get 5 votes, 5 X's, 6 X's, all right? But only 1 W. Another guy gets 4 W's, but only gets 4 votes.
He's,
Who
that's
wins?
the winner.
Well, if you want to, you just have whoever gets the most X's in that category. Well, if you want to, you just have whoever gets the most X's in that category. You could run it that way if you want.
It would seem that's, I don't know, other than the rank. I was good on just voting for 1,
Yeah, I was.
okay?
yeah,
I too.
And I was good on just voting for 1,
Yeah, I was.
okay?
yeah.
I too.
And then we could go add other people to it.
Well, you're
Right.
doing the same thing with X's.
Not exactly.
No.
It's not exactly the same. No.
Could we just take a look at W's and how they,
Let's
Fell
just see
out.
what we got.
I
And I
didn't vote,
think-
I didn't vote yet, so.
No.
you didn't vote at all?
Or you could be the
Okay.
swing vote.
Because I've been contemplating the justice, truth, integrity, the American way.
Okay,
All right.
well,
Well,
Okay, so you want me to put a W down?
Yes, we want W's. Yes.
just a W.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe it'll simplify itself once we,
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
it might. That's the other option. Or maybe not. You got some sun. We've been out a little bit.
A little bit.
This was a great day. It's been pretty nice, yeah.
It has.
No, this is secret, so.
We're just all watching you though.
Those put their name at the top.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shuffle it.
Yeah.
Shuffle it.
You won't be able to tell mine.
No, all right. Here we go.
Are you gonna go to another room to come?
I suppose I could.
Well, you can stay right here.
I mean, do we need to get the mayor in for this?
No, there's not supposed to be any election.
Well, you can stay right here.
I mean, do we need to get the mayor in for this?
No, there's not supposed to be any electioneering.
Okay.
So many feet of the pole. All right, I gotta pick one of these.
A tick sheet. A tick sheet. Do a tick sheet on the side.
Let's see. Okay.
doing it, take the winners out. Top three after that,
Okay, yeah.
with an X. Especially in those categories with 15 people.
Who voted just for one overall?
One person in each category? That's
No,
what I
that's
did.
not me. No, that was just,
Just say each category has to get.
No, that wasn't me. I voted for one in
In
each
each
category.
category.
one in each
Yeah, I
category.
did too.
So, Tim, did you
Yeah.
vote for just one person overall?
Or one in each category.
No,
How many sheets do you have?
Did somebody vote twice?
So,
yeah, so
That must just be,
disregard that.
oh, that one was mine. I should actually be doing the counting for this one. Just might have had two when we were nominated. I just use that. Just go-
What day is there, what day is the
20th. October 20th.
20th? Nothing? Okay. So we have a meeting for the EDC after.
exactly. We'll do it at breakout room.
Okay, so under large, we do have 4 candidates selected. 2 for Northwestern Mutual Life, 2 for Northwestern Mutual Life, 1 Saputo, 1 Innovative Pain Care, 1 Lubrizol. For small, we have 2 selected. Honey Butter, Honey Butter and Ace Hardware and Honey Butter. Honey Butter is 3. Ace Hardware is 2. And then under innovation, we have 4 selected, and Hunger Task Force is the winner. Police Department and John Wichman are tied, and then Stuart Wangard. So we have 3.
So it sounds like
Right.
So it comes down,
You know, everybody else is good, except for the leadership. That's a tie.
Should we talk about that a bit? I don't know who, is it Wickman, you said? I'm not sure who that is.
Wichman.
Wichman.
Is it Wichman or Wickman?
Wickman.
I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar.
A Franklin resident. Recently lost in the primary. Going to be the only guy out of the Franklin around for anything.
what does that have to do with business?
Well, it's outstanding leader because,
Oh, that's the leadership category.
yeah.
But
That
he
was the
lost.
point.
call for a raise of hands. Who votes for the two?
Well, the only other question is, okay, I put in Franklin Police Department accountant, not a person. So
Well-
in a sense, it's,
Well, we can just name Oliva if you want that. He has been pretty outstanding.
That's kind of
Outstanding.
how we're doing with Carmex or Karma.
Mm-hmm.
Simon's.
Mm-hmm.
Show of hands, which one?
Question.
yeah, so you.
Which one of the
for
two?
questions,
So,
That's for a vote.
for questions,
so-
That's for a vote.
So do you want the Franklin Police Department? Or
well,
the
should they
chief?
be in there? Really the first question. Does it count? Since the leadership is done a person. I submitted, I was really just looking for input. Should that be a leadership? I was really just looking for input. Should that be a leadership position? Or not?
Well, I would change it from the.
Oliva.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would do too.
Cast.
The leader of the
Cast.
department. So, what I would do.
Okay.
Any major innovation.
Okay. The reason I suggested the police department in total was I think they job
I agree.
more so than others, and I don't
Yeah.
think he is everybody. But it's either the department. I don't see him as that. Okay. I don't see it as individual. I see it as department nominated leadership community. And it maybe then be small business, or maybe should be in large business.
I like leadership.
I do too. I think Oliva
And
should be.
I don't feel biased one way or another, whether it be the department or the chief.
It reflects very well on the.
Leaderships that is working with, across the shifts and everything. That it's
Mhm.
not, it's the chief who's in charge, but it's the department, I think, that's really protected Franklin and produced good policing
Mhm.
along the way for different events. I can go either way with that.
Well, okay, so from my standpoint, and I recognize the police in general, I think that police in total need a hug, not just talking to the police guys that I do know. They don't feel very well appreciated. I recognize I do know. They don't feel very well appreciated. I recognize the chief does not recognize the file.
And that's true.
I mean, so it's like, okay, do we as a community say, hey, we really appreciate you guys?
And who's going to show up to get the award? It'll be Oliva.
I don't care. It's a different, I wouldn't have recommended or nominated. I don't care. It's a different, I wouldn't have recommended or nominated. I recommended the police department because I represent them. Need a hug, not a leave. I don't think a leave.
The rank and file in the police department are going through contract negotiation, the scope of the union, get their departments involved, unions involved to protest the fact that they're not getting away with negotiations. There's a negotiation tension right now with the police department, the leadership of the rank and file, not necessarily to the point where they're sending letters out to the community, they're sending letters to other union members, whether it be the non-representative or whether it be, and they're trying some tactics that I don't understand.
Well, they want to win.
Oh yeah, they want to win, but is that, I don't know.
That is a pretty sensitive time then.
Yeah.
That looks as if we're taking sides.
Absolutely. I
not a good thing.
withdraw my nomination.
So we are,
Okay.
there were 2 for Whitman and 2 votes for,
Right, for the police department.
I voted for,
For the police department.
I voted for,
I'm sorry,
because I know him.
Yeah, I don't know.
voted for whom?
Stu Vanguard.
Oh,
Stuart
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Oh, Wanga, yeah,
Vanguard Development.
he's a
Yeah.
big, he's doing lot of it out here in Oakwood right now. He's doing a lot of it out here in Oakwood right now. I think he was the first one that built the Billy Wanegard, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was major.
And they built a spec building down very, that was a nice.
They were there before Saputo was. They were there before Saputo was. With value.
Well, then to me, maybe we just hold on.
Police guys are off. We've got, and we've got 2 for 1 and 1 for.
Richmond and Vanguard.
So we just
Well, but why are we voting on that one in the sense that there's a 2-1 and that's a winning on other things? We got a 3-2, 2-1, and that's a winning on other things. We got a 3-2, that's a winning by 1.
I mean, I've
And on
already,
the other one, we got Northwestern Mutual winning 2 versus everybody else 1. So it's either,
give it a week.
that's how that would work.
I've
Why
kind
can't
of
we
like,
do them all?
if I was asked to change my vote with taking it off, taking the police department off, kind
Can't
of
we
like,
do them all?
if I was asked to change my vote with taking it off, taking the police department off, I vote for Wanegard.
I would also, I really don't think we should vote for politicians.
No. Wanegard has made a big commitment here, doing more to it down the line. Has made a big commitment here, doing more to it down the line. Industrial park or the corporate park down on.
What was your? So you would take that.
Those are
Anyway,
Sure.
that's shown.
that means 4 votes?
Is that 3 for them at this point? 4 for them.
4.
Okay. And Steve is non-committal.
No, I voted for Whitman, but I guess I'm wondering if we can do what we just did, in the sense that, okay, so we took the police force off, and then we recast them, because we take the YMCA and the innovation, give the people those 3 votes,
Well, why don't we finish this discussion?
right?
Just deal with the leadership.
Well, I'm just
Why?
saying, but we're talking
In
math,
a
which is,
way, I
there's a
wish,
2-1.
I wish this was in closed session. Closed session. Because this is public record now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that. The things we're talking about
We can
are,
go into closed session right now.
well, it's already on the table.
Well, this.
Nobody's been taken.
No.
Nobody's been taken off of the categories.
Well, that's, I guess, my question, which is, what is the rule? So if one guy's taken out, then you got the others, and there's a winner. Okay? Not a casting.
But if,
Not a casting.
if we're taking them off, it could just be a revote for that category. To the people that if we're gonna take it off, for whatever reason. People that cast for them should be able to vote for another one. Another cast for them should be able to vote for another option.
So you got 4 for Stewart. But that's the overall. We got winners. Okay. Okay.
Could you just let us know who those winners are now?
Would be Northwestern Mutual Life for large business, and Honey Butter, small business, Hunger Task Force for innovation, and Stuart Wanegard for leadership.
Thank you.
All right. We need to have a motion to accept the.
I'll make a motion.
All right.
I
Do
second.
we have a second? On,
I just caution next year when we do this, that should be a closed session item.
I agree.
gotcha. All right, so then let's talk about a replacement for Rob. Do we have any suggestions last month?
And serving on any of the committees or fills out a form that's online, submits it to the mayor, and the mayor makes that decision and then brings it to the common council. So I think our role is to encourage people
Right.
to be.
And that was also the part which the mayor says, hey,
To make the application to the
at this point, did any of us? I did not.
I have someone that maybe looking to get involved, but I don't know what his background is. Development.
Gotcha.
I can ask that.
Whatever. Got some. You suggest them. We're not bad people. Nice. That would be
It would be a second committee for
oh, for them. Okay, well, that's why I said, folks, if you might go with Bill. If you can fill it out online, oh, it's not that bad. Most part. Go from there. But it's also a way to control yourself.
Exactly.
All right, so always have a chance. If we do, we do. If we don't,
But we do need to notify the mayor or mayor and president of the city council?
No, we just need to have that individual actually make the application, and that
Okay.
individual gives it.
Then they
Sends it to the
do
mayor.
the background check and they do everything as part of personnel.
Okay,
It gets submitted to personnel. They do everything as part of personnel.
okay,
It gets submitted to personnel. They do the checks in the background, and then they give it to the mayor, and the mayor can bring it forward to council, vote on.
okay.
Police records. That's why I don't know how Steve can. Oh, let's move to closed session on it.
that's right. Gotcha. All right. The EDC, Economic Development Update, the TIF Policy Development, and the current project.
Are there
Sure.
any citizen comments? I'd like to open up the.
We closed that a while ago.
So, what we're really looking at right now is setting the process, and the mayor can help us out. We're not covering all the bases. So, I did send you a draft of the tax increment finance policy, and so if you have a chance to look at that, but in talking about this and sending out the agenda, the city administrator, who had been working on this with Callie, said, we need to put a lot of thought into this, not just review what we have in that one document. And that one document is a draft. And so I've got that I managed to work drafts all over it in the verbiage. But what I also will do is send you 8 other policies from Wisconsin community. And some of them, like Waukesha, are kind of like the gold standard for how they're managed and how they do their. And so, we need to review those. And, it's going to be a process. This is going to take at least 4 meetings. My guess is it'll take about 6 before we get to a final draft where we can recommend it to anybody. So that I'll be sending out to you tomorrow. I'll look at what I handed out. You'll see the names of the cities that it'll be on the flip side of the email. And Peggy gives us some direction there about how thoughtful we need. But on the flip side of that, you'll see the cities that we are including in this. And like I said, Waukesha and Madison, and a couple from Madison. They have goals and processes in addition to policy. And so that'd be the first thing we decide if you're going to do both of Sheboygan and if you're going to do both of Sheboygan and Fort Washington and Wauwatosa and Oshkosh. So that'll give you a good breadth that we can review. And I'm just thinking we grab a couple per meeting and go through them, what we like, what we don't like. And grab a couple per meeting and go through them, what we like, what we don't like. And mark those up, highlight those for the parts that we like, and then try to work. And I don't know if Peggy's available. She goes to a gazillion meetings now, but I certainly would invite available. She goes to a gazillion meetings now, but I certainly would invite her to some of these meetings during the process. So
if we take this on the back page, 8.
yeah, and one of them is a goals and objectives type thing. And one of them is a goals and objectives type thing, which
All right. So,
I don't know if we'll make that separate.
but what you're recommending do per session
Yep, I would think.
and say, okay, back out of it. Here's what we like.
Well-
Here's what we like.
Well, the likes. That way we can only have to deal with one item.
Well, with the plus and the nice, we don't want to have that included in all.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe
Well, that's true.
perhaps. So, do we want to pick the?
Sure.
Do you have a recommendation as to most applicable to us?
Well, like I say, Waukesha is, it's in there, right? In there.
No, I'm saying 10%.
No, I seen Wauwatosa.
Is there a Waukesha? We just don't have.
Nope, I guess it's Wauwatosa
So, Tosa,
and Oshkosh, I guess.
great.
At some point I'd like to see what New Berlin is doing, because they're comparable to us and have the same kind of growth thing going on out there that we have. That one might, that's one
No,
I'm very
yeah.
curious about. I don't care what sequence we.
No, yeah, absolutely. We'd look at all of these as far as their policy.
All right. Do I have a motion for Tosa and Oshkosh next month?
I'll make a motion.
All right, second.
Second.
All approved?
That we over fine tooth comb and be prepared to act on it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Are you guys clear on what?
No, I don't think we are, but I think the first step is we got to read them. But what are we looking for?
John and Peggy tell us how much money they want. Well, we're not very free with our money around here, but we're willing to incent right development, either help them get in the ground or incent them to spend more money. And it's never been approved by the common council except with or developers. So I thought it was important that we develop a document that provides developers criteria and that gives some weight behind they hear that from the mayor, and then so we need to walk a fine line on this. Very supportive to the development, but also using the TIF law as leverage to get what the community wants, which is increased property value, better quality of life development, like high quality industrial development, high quality industrial development, high value. So document's going to be here's the policy. Peggy and I and finance people have to, if we provide an incentive for success, in other words, we provide base goal of $1 million value per acre. That's the baseline. Below that, you get nothing. above that, just, you saw that letter that I sent this going a while back. You saw that letter that I sent this going a while back. Sliding scale for adding value. Well, when we provide incentive like that, developers want to earn interest on that incentive even before they get paid on it. On that incentive even before they get paid on it. So part of our policy have to be when we pay interest, when the interest clock starts, at what rates do we pay on, or if we have a developer put in infrastructure, we reimburse them based on value. When do we pay interest on cost? Those kind of technical, really wonky stuff, Peggy will work on with. But we're looking for initially a high-level policy. What we really want to send.
Okay. That helps.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
the piece of paper.
Waukesha.
I've heard in some of the development circles, heard Waukesha as a program. Actually, where I heard this was at the event over at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's going to be the city because the county can't do actual environment.
I'm just saying, I don't know Waukesha well. I don't know, is it a township, city, or, and I mean, it's a possible. I'm just saying, if you heard, it's a possible. I'm just saying, if you heard this.
Actually, it is because it has to be a public document.
Well, if we could get that one as well, I mean.
Well, I mean, if it's the gold standard,
Gold standard,
let's
yeah.
get that first.
Yeah, let's see. Guys,
Gold standard, let's get that first.
yeah, let's see. Guys, we'll figure out how I think. So John gets this information at a development presentation, right?
I get it.
From developers.
Yeah.
And they
No,
say,
economic developers. It was pretty much economic development
they say it's gold standard.
developers. It was pretty much economic development.
They say it's gold standard. My guess is gold standard. But that's not a bad thing to look at.
Well,
And we can tweak it the other way.
So you're kind of skeptical, are you?
Me? Never. I've been doing this a long time.
Because I even got to look at community compatibility and things like that too.
Exactly.
And affecting the quality of life with that. That's our motto. We better start to
we
pull
already
that together,
we
and
picked
I
a
think the
two for
UDO is doing
Yeah,
that
all right,
too.
we're
in terms
good.
of-
Yeah, let's keep going. All right, so we got our policy development, and we're looking at current prospects.
Well, we're still working with some of the ones that we've had in the past couple of months. We've had another developer come in with a proposal for sites in Corporate Park. So we're just analyzing whether or not they meet these standards. And so we just got done doing approval for TID 6 at the City Council and Plan Commission. Now it has to be approved by the Joint Review Board. That'll be happening on the week. So the prospects that we were looking at before is we had manufacturing and warehousing opportunities.
Get names,
Yeah, we can't pitch out these.
get names.
Yeah, we can't pitch out. And then we've got some biomedical companies as well looking at some of those spaces.
It would probably help, just based on what you're saying now, if you could walk us through that process as you and the mayor and finance, just a generic kind of, here's what we've considered, here's the things that we're looking at relative to this prospect. As you're doing it, include us, at least on the periphery, about how you're doing that and what things you're looking at. So we share that with us in terms of the processing, might help understand what goes on, so.
Yeah, food processing, plastics company, mentioned in addition.
Okay. Any other conversation on that?
I was looking at it. What's going on here?
So on your maps, you've indicated that you want to see these sites or sites on the corner redeveloped. The ownership of those two areas, except for one little corner on our south, should be the southwest corner of the orange. That's not owned by that person, but the rest is all owned by the same company or same trust. And so I guess what I'm looking for is to get some direction as to how you want to approach this. We find out who that person is, what you're going to ask them. You want to redevelop it. Maybe you have an idea what you want to redevelop it to. And the first question that this owner or this trust or whatever the nature of it is, because there's about 4 different names that are on each of the there's 4 different names distributed among the ownership of these parcels. They're going to ask you, what are you going to give them? What are you going to do for them?
We know who the owner is. It's always.
All right, so I guess the question is, what do we want, or flip side is, those are kind of isolated. Is there anything leverage wise? Hey, you got to fix this up. Use it, lose it, use it, lose it, some combination. I don't know what the law. There's something as you not have to keep up your properties and our trucks there all the time, and I don't know if you guys are renting that space or not. Shut down renting that space or not. Shut down restaurant, shut down gas station. Okay to just empty like that. City of Franklin.
Let's see, correct. I got probably
Sure.
down they're going, which was fine. Your point. I drive by O'Malley's corner.
Yeah.
Trucks. Else, I gotta knock down my weeds, but guy gets a pass.
Right.
Is this where we would, you name it blighted? So that'd be establishing one of the criteria with if nobody's buying it or nobody's using it. I don't know, that would have to be the first thing that maybe would be that standard. But then can we do some preliminary work standard? But then can we do some preliminary work without actually establishing a TIF, setting up the timelines and everything else? In terms of potential developers saying we're willing to look at this, I don't know if it would work that way ever.
Well, maybe it wouldn't, but property. What about the fact that tanks gotta be in there, gotta be
Well,
rotted out?
that'd be a different declaration.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
My business.
Is there are prescribed uses that are allowed that are not. And then as far as nuisance laws are concerned, weeds, those are nuisance laws. And can be applied if something has been violated.
And change, can we change that to meet some criteria that we'd like to see there?
Talk about, in Tim's specific instance, where cited the state law that's enforced by the state. That's paying for the landowner, but relatively not the landowner, but relatively not nuisance violation cured quickly. So usually goes by the wayside with mowing.
Yeah.
And it's no muss, no fuss. A lot of neighbor on neighbor. A lot of neighbor on neighbor issues with it. But at the end of the day, it's bucks. When we get to things like abandoned buildings or unoccupied buildings, and that brings into the building code. That brings into the building code issues under the nuisance ordinance. It's peeling, sightings. That's a different level of nuisance violation that requires a lot more. Requires a lot more legal wrangling by our staff to properly violate rights of property. So, illegally parked trucks licensed, yes. Well, then it's different. Well, then it's different. Are the trucks parked appropriately zoning classification? No, go through a bunch of gyrations that take tons of time. But it's all triggered by complaint by something. Triggered by complaint by something. We only enforce zoning regulations, those kind of things. Somebody's got to complain about the property. Frankly, we don't get. That's what starts the ball rolling. Is
We get a complaint, then what happens?
goes into the system. It gets referred to the various departments depending on what narrative. So if the complaint comes in and says, peeling paint inspection department, they would go look. Wouldn't look at trucks, right? They'd probably look at the site. They don't go looking for. So the narratives usually have to be pretty good. Cover all the do that. And me too. That was.
I was here. I was
Tim,
in this
you were-
room when we ousted the code enforcement officer.
Yeah, it was not pretty. It was. So no, we only do it on. We only do it within the scope of.
What could we?
You would have been around long enough when they tore down Caesars on Drexel 7. That, my wife commented like 100 times. It was like real danger because there was broken glass. There was, you knew kids were going in there, messing around. That had to be tore down. From a safety.
That calls into question how we as a city do these things. You notice during Mars Farm on the road, the barn is still up. All of these places still up. All of these places, they're under condemnation order. That then kicks in another round of legal issues where the rights of the property owner play and sensitivity of any particular circuit court. Sensitivity of any particular circuit court. So, there's lots of hearings about potential repairs. There's a formula that says, forget what it is, 50% of the cost of the building to repair it, 50% of the cost of the building to repair it, uninhabitable. Well, there's all kinds of stuff. And it gets to be a legal nightmare. That's why when Jerry Mars Farm burned down in 2005, Christmas Eve 2005, it didn't get torn down until Christmas Eve 2005. It didn't get torn down until 2016. Right up in the courts. very sensitive about taking people's property. Sure, it may have been a pile of rubble, but it was somebody else's pile of rubble. We got to be careful about it. But the answer to your question is, if somebody files a complaint, we
Okay. All right. Well, unless that happens, nothing happens.
that's right.
Right.
And sometimes even when it does happen, things, for example, there's another, usually a business operating. Well, we're in the middle of legal wranglings trying to figure out if in fact it really is illegally operating, or if who says X, Y, Z. Well, now what's the legal status? That's easy enough with trading. But
Okay.
So,
Any other discussion on that?
Is there something we can do in terms of recommending a use? Or looking at what potential use might be able to, or looking at what potential use might be able to be beneficial for a developer? And I mean, there you're running into, you've got an owner, and if we're trying to sell property or develop property or get rid of property, they're just gonna hang on to it for price anyway, so property or get rid of property. They're just gonna hang on to it for price anyway, so how do we kind of look at what that area might potentially be, and potentially for a developer, that would be something that the city would like to see there? That would be something that the city would like to see there at that point.
well, the city retains its authority to the zoning community. Zoning is land.
Yeah.
You want.
Right.
We're back to Loomis and 700.
Yeah.
We're back to Loomis and 700.
Yeah.
That area has been studied pretty extensively via the economic development. Been studied extensively, but a long time ago.
Right.
2008, I think we did what.
Right.
2008, I think we did what was called the Crossroads. And John, you get through that study. There's PDFs. So that presents a bunch of uses for all four corners of South. That's owned. But it does talk about the rest of it. So that's one opportunity. Second opportunity is we're redoing the Unified Development Ordinance, our zoning code, which will dictate use for those westerly, northerly and westerly, whatever direction. Those are business B3 districts. That has a specific set of uses for it, including gas stations. So given that, I don't know that anybody would say, pull up, John, the zoning for those areas and get the suggested uses, approved uses, additional uses. And this commission can start talking about, hey, prime spot that's currently a gas station, it could be X, Y, and talk to people about what you might want to see. X, Y, and talk to people about what you might want to see.
Is the building deteriorating now, or roof falling in, or anything that you're?
Well, I can't tell if the roof's falling. It's a
Dump.
dump, and it's a cinder.
Dump.
It's a dump, and it's a cinder block. It's an old gas station, from like 1904 or whatever.
I drive past it and look at it, but I've never really focused on issue.
Isn't that a restaurant?
He lives in that area, and I'm office.
Yes. Same situation with Carlisle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the car lot isn't as bad. I mean,
That's just one building with a lot of cars. and
Yeah, I'd
gravel.
like to be gone, but I mean, still.
Underground storage tanks, gas tanks, at that gas station could be very problematic.
well, you have evidence of some kind of a problem, unless you're pulling water that's contaminated.
Mhm.
But anybody that looks to that is looking at buying that is going to have an assessment,
I've got a friend,
and then you'll know.
I've got a friend that works at DNR for the BT underground storage tank program. Yeah, I don't know how that.
I would think that this, I mean, leaking tanks would be kind of an
They
interesting.
they have to file reports.
Yeah,
As to where they are, and if it's leaking, that's a problem. Anyone who buys that property will have to have that assessed.
Could ask,
Evaluated.
someone could ask them the last time that was looked at and tested.
Well, when they closed when they closed the station, they had to close that. They had to get it closure.
Yeah.
They have to close the site. It has to be assessed. So
I should ask them if they.
Did they go through closure on it?
it's not
I should ask them if they.
Did they go through closure on it?
it's not a functioning gas station anymore, correct?
But
They
did they
had to.
close it?
Yeah, they had to
Did they have
at some point because 20 years ago, that was a major initiative nation. That was a major initiative nation.
Steve, I've got to run, but I do have one thing. We have a new tenant business called Niche Coco.
Niche?
NICH. They are first business from Uganda,
I think it's
Rwanda,
somewhere in South Africa.
somewhere in
Africa.
Africa.
Yep.
That's been attracted to Africa. That's been attracted to the United States.
Commerce.
They're holding ribbon cutting. I don't know who's invited. I'm saying this under Secretary of the Department here. M7's having a. What's troubling me is I believe it's October. I'm supposed to be at the conference.
And M7 is aware of it because Naish accepted the invitation.
Well, but the ribbon cutting's,
Right. Okay.
But you
So it
said
shouldn't be an
October
issue.
I believe it. I'll find out if I can.
Great.
They're a high quality.
for a while. A little bit.
with marshmallows or?
Sure, when.
All right, so that was one, what's the other one?
So I was going to say, I may not be at the Kayla, but house. Many things for the conference.
Did I fill in at the conference?
So maybe you will be here. All right. Okay. Good. We hope you can. It's always good when the mayor's.
Thanks for the hard work, folks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, anything else about our Little Miss Road site? It appears that nothing's going to happen. It appears that nothing's going to happen unless we get a complaint. And then I'm still not sure what'll happen unless it's written in the right way and the right, so that to me seems kind of sad in the sense that even as that to me seems kind of sad in the sense that even as an economic development committee, we don't have any real use to it.
So we're not enforcement. We need to take a look at that as a resource that we can work. After we understand some that we can work. After we understand some of the techniques and the findings from the studies and understand what the zoning is, and we understand what we can do and then with the tools that we have, then rather than look at approaching owner, we look at approaching developers that might So we understand the information, zoning and the study, and then we target some developers that would be those ideas from the study. I mean, we all can understand the kinds of development we might want.
I guess I'd like to see that.
Is there any working with the current owner, who I don't think at this point is how long has he owned that? As opposed to his dad owning what and him owning that. He might be willing to do something with us too, or he might have a plan for it. I don't know what his intention is of holding it.
I
Is it just for money?
back to Prescott right now. Studies. That approach him. Saying,
Does he have a plan? We don't know.
The owner has sold some other property.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm not sure if the
I'm
intention
thinking-
is, I'm not sure if the
I'm
intention is
thinking
that
that he spends a lot of time in North or South Carolina.
Exactly.
And
Right.
maybe he's willing to give it up to somebody who would be willing to buy it.
Yeah, we need to find the buyer. I think that's.
Well, that is an opportunity.
Right now, the EDC is,
That is an opportunity.
right now, the EDC is selling property.
No,
No.
it's
we're
just-
creating
it's
an
doing what
environment
Steve's
where a
asking us to
developer
do,
could
is
come
talk
in
it
and
up. Know how to talk it up.
Yep.
So I think for our, know how to talk it up.
Yep.
So I think for our.
no, we're never gonna buy property.
I
No,
don't
we
think
just
so.
look
No, I
at
wasn't
the,
saying that, I was saying,
look
so
at
we,
the, study,
Mhm.
see what it says,
Mhm.
see what it says. It's gonna be a long process.
okay, something you just said, and I hadn't even thought about it. Why couldn't we recommend buying property?
You wanna buy that property?
Yeah, it's the right price,
Well,
yeah, I can do a lot of things. Hasn't, not something, but why not?
We couldn't do that. We can buy land for park purposes, future expansion of parks, but as far as business, commercial, that wouldn't be within the city's ability. Cities
It's
don't
not in
buy
our
properties.
charter.
Right.
What do you do? How does
Only,
that happen?
the only thing we. There,
Yeah.
and that would.
Well, and we can recommend it in terms of looking at what zoning it is.
Right.
Setting up those kind of parameters at this point, where to buy it, if the banks are, they gotta dig it up and then remediate soil and everything else that's part of that. That's all expense that would have to go into this development kind of a thing, but that's about all we can do. Can't put money out there. I wouldn't want to do. Can't put money out there. I wouldn't want to tell a taxpayer I'm buying that piece of property.
Right.
And they'd say, you're crazy. What's the city gonna do with it now? They're stuck with it.
But that's two different ideas. One is we can't do it. But that's two different ideas. One is we can't do it. The other is,
I
May
think they're
not be a
both
good
in
decision.
play.
but it is a reality, we can't do that as a city.
That's my understanding.
Unless the city needed to build a new school there or
Yeah,
had some other
sure.
city property that they wanted to there. Then they
Yeah.
could buy property.
Can't,
You
can't
can't-
buy,
you
you
can't
can't
buy
use,
it with the intention of finding somebody to go.
Apparently not.
Okay. All right, gotcha. Anything else
they
about?
did that once before, a long time ago, with the original industrial park, that land. That was years ago.
The Village of Mount Pleasant, bought all kinds of land for Fox County.
Yeah.
So then
Look
it
how
is
well
doable.
that worked out.
Well, just
Different
check
issue.
out what the letter of the law is.
Mhm.
That's Jesse. Because I think I heard him say we couldn't buy it if pretty much
Yeah, but
what
if
we
you're saying-
can use with taxpayer dollars.
If you're setting up a TID though,
I mean, it seems to me that if you had the opportunity that we would have a lot more flexibility, not only picking, we could choose who's going to be where. And it would give you a lot more where. And it would give you a lot more. And I'd say, okay, hey, we will clean it up. We'll do this. Now it's like we did the study.
Then
Well, what's the difference?
nobody'd want to buy it, or it would be prohibitive to buy, possible.
Could be.
You'd
Yeah.
have to- you'd
And
have
then
to-
you're asking, you should become an alderman and handle those.
Yeah.
you'd
And
have
then
to-
you're asking, you should become an alderman and handle those questions.
You'd have to put out requests for proposals because they always can't dispose of property except through a bid process. That's what RFP is. That's what RFP is.
Right.
Here's
I'm coming
here's
back
the
to your Mount
here's
Pleasant.
the
They went out and did
standards.
it. With
Well,
the-
they still had to go out and bid that.
Yeah.
But they
but all of a sudden, it gave them the opportunity to bring in.
They had to condemn
Business.
property and everything
Yeah.
to do. That was,
Yeah.
They had a commitment.
Piece. My guess is that somebody was willing to buy the land, they set the taxing the TID up because TIDs aren't able to assist with property acquisition. Someone else has got to do the acquiring and they get assisted.
So
Under the
it's
project.
a different way there. What's on that? Not going to solve anything more on that today. South Suburban Chamber. I was at this most recent one.
we were, John and I went to happy
2
hour.
hours ago? No wonder you were late.
No, you went to the happy hour. No, I went to the breakfast.
Yeah.
That's it. So how was the happy hour?
It was okay. I mean,
That's it. So how was the happy hour?
it was okay. I mean,
Yeah.
there were like 20 people there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was light for that event.
Yeah.
They probably were all at the pickleball court down the street.
Okay, but nonetheless, things are happening. This is the overarching.
Well,
Okay, but nonetheless, things are happening. This is the overarching.
you still a member?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
Because,
yeah.
You know, Ola.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh,
I
she
didn't-
did?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Really? Where did you go?
She's
Well,
Where did you go?
she's
well, she's
Was she pregnant?
so she may just be.
There should be laws against that.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
So she, I don't know if she's a mom or if she found something else.
Yeah.
The golf event, golf outing that they had last week.
Yeah.
Very well.
So then that, yeah, I saw that email. I have nothing. When they're gonna tell her how they're
Yeah.
That's part of it. The breakfast, well attended. All right. Anything else for the sake of the team for next agenda?
Well, we're gonna review this.
Yeah, we're going to review the.
Yeah.
the
That's gonna take a long
student
time.
thing. Yeah. So
And then. Study or no?
yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, those would be good items for next.
sooner you get better.
Yeah, but now okay. So I didn't open these. I assume these are openable.
I haven't sent them to you.
Oh, I thought, well,
That's why
good.
I'm
I
here.
missed that one. I was all about
Yeah.
opening. Okay. Well, okay. That one. I was all about
Yeah.
opening. Okay. Well, okay. So we voted on those. I was going to say, or do you have the Waukesha one? No, let's just stay with two. All right.
Yeah, I'll get the walk. Peggy, I think they kind of want to. Peggy, I think they kind of want to vet those before.
Gotcha. Hey, before we get off this more, it would be appreciation dinner. Anything more you need out of it here to help you?
We like Tracy Johnson. Best speaker.
It's
20.
Yeah.
Same
And the-
menus last year.
Same menus last year.
This is mailed to businesses already?
It's gone out in two fashions. It's gone out through Eventbrite, which is scheduling, programming, event software. I sent that email out myself.
To what kind of a list?
Callie had a list from last year, and
Okay,
I added
that's
some
same.
more. Because we're not charging for that, I added all the elected officials and complimentary people in that list. Because all they gotta do, and then what they need to do is just, and everybody that registers is track. So I'm tracking who's there and pulling them off the list.
Did you
for-
send it to us?
Pardon?
You sent it to us too?
Should have,
I
it should
saw
have been
it.
on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's,
Perhaps we
yeah,
can
it was,
take another second.
All
right,
I will
so-
check again.
So perhaps we
yeah,
can
it was.
take another second.
All
right,
I will
so-
check again.
So that said, is there,
any, would this be something that could be given to the chamber?
Yes, their board of directors. I
Okay,
sent it to Ola, and she said, hey, you want me to send it to the board? I
okay.
sent it to Ola, and she said, hey, you want me to send it to the board?
Or members?
That'd be
but
great.
the members? But we only the Franklin.
Yeah, it would be the Franklin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't know if they can do that kind of sorting.
Does someone have a list that could be sorted?
Sure. they
A
do.
membership
Yeah.
list?
A zip code.
Do any of us have it, I guess?
I can get hold of it.
And do a sort on it?
Yeah, sure.
Is it in a sortable format?
I don't know. I'm sure it is. It's gotta be in a
Yeah, I'm
spreadsheet.
sure
It is.
Yeah. So
You
What
would
time
know.
is it? Time is this?
have enough workers in the city in the past, that's who,
Yeah.
and all that stuff, so
Yeah,
you're
it's
all
gonna
good.
help. As far as I know, because I wasn't here in the past, so.
Does Tuckaway have a limit as to how many people they can accommodate?
They haven't stated one. I told them 150 back.
The only reason I ask is because it is free, so it might just have more people than.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in combination with the city and sponsorships,
Well,
not the alcohol.
actually, the mayor is thinking that we should. Actually, the mayor is thinking that we should. We have a budget item for this. The city should do it, not ask
Not
for
even sponsors,
sponsorships, because it's the same thing. As we, we appreciate you, but pay us to come here.
Yeah, so there are no sponsorships.
We appreciate you, but pay us to come here.
Yeah, so there are no sponsorships.
So there's not going to be sponsorships.
Okay,
But we
that's
had
fine.
them in the past.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we got workers, all of the necessary. Now are we inviting 1, 2, 3, and 4? The 1, 2, 3, and 4. The categories. They all.
And make sure.
So,
And in the past, what we've done is, that's been part of some of the notifications or
Yeah.
emails, notifications or
Yeah.
emails that go out.
Right.
Here's the folks. that they do.
And part of that says they generally buy. Well, they don't have to buy anything. So they come. Yes, so that, yeah, okay.
so last year, thought I heard
We did pay
You did last year.
last year.
last year.
The mayor is adamant about that. We
What's
shouldn't be
fine.
charging
That's
people
good.
to come to it if we're saying we want to show our appreciation.
Not arguing that, it's just ticket, whatever you call it.
Or we
Yeah,
just
you
go
just
on
gotta,
Eventbrite.
just register.
Register.
Yeah.
So
on
if I
Eventbrite.
wanted to bring somebody, they could register 2, 3, 4.
I think what's going on, because I've seen some people registering multiple times. I think,
We Steve Kowalski.
yeah, heaven forbid, but
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, okay, if that's how you have to do multiples,
yeah,
you'd have to be 4 Tims
but I
if
don't.
you want to have 4 people.
But there's a button on there that says how many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there is, okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Will we have name tags?
we
Or
will,
will every,
we'll print those out. Yeah.
okay, they'll be printed off from the registration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
That might be difficult if he
Yeah.
registers 4 times.
Damn
He'll-
Steve.
he'll-
Don't be
we'll-
Steve. Dan
He'll-
Steve.
he'll-
He's always,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll
We'll have-
have some pens out there, okay?
Okay.
We'll get some magic markers.
Because in
and
the past,
we can
they were
scratch the
handwritten,
name
weren't
and write in the other.
I
What's
don't
that?
remember.
I think they, you know, the normal sticky ones that fall off.
Yeah, right. I've got the magnetic one on that one.
Yeah, I think they fall off.
Yeah, right. I've got the magnetic one on that one.
Yeah, I got it, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Good. And what,
Anything?
oh, and then the actual award itself, you'll just do what was done last year.
I'm ordering them going to Ideal. I don't know, Callie.
I don't know either.
Again, the mayor was pretty adamant
Okay.
to go to the local
That's fine.
award
That's
shop.
good.
Makes sense.
Where's Ideal now? Were they
It's
out
just
on,
Hales Corners.
were they out of Forest Home or something?
What is that? Right there at they're at Hales Corners.
No,
I
they
got name
moved, they
tags.
might have moved. There was a look,
Ideal logo.
yeah, okay, that's
That
the
must
same.
have been them.
Because I drove past, I said, oh my God, they're out of business, but they relocated.
Yep.
They do my Aldermanic embroidery.
I was gonna say, geez, you probably get everything embroidered over there. Yeah. Even here, you know. Anyway. Okay. Do I hear a motion to? No.
There probably will be a news release before we send out something more to announce the winners. But that'll be another news release.
Will be the winners or the nominee?
Winners and nominees.
We won't announce the winners at a
No.
time.
Oh, we don't? Just the
No,
nominees?
no.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah,
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 let's
thank you,
clarify that.
Right. No.
Oh,
That's the.
After the
after.
meal.
After
Yeah,
the
after
meal.
the meal.
Gets a few drinks, gets something to eat.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
And
Very
dessert.
good.
Actually, the speaker is before, right? Speaker, and then the
Right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Speaker and then the award,
Right.
right?
food. It's really not dinner. So. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?